Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. My name is Robert. And this is 7 Up and At It here on the Yeah, I Said It show. Now, what is 7 Up and At It? 7 Up and At It is simply a daily devotional that I do every morning where I will sit down with a verse of the Bible and I will study verses preceding it and verses that come after it. I'll also study different translations, but I study that verse so I can get a full context of what God's trying to tell us in His Word and in that verse. So why do you record it? I record these daily devotionals because I feel we're all vessels to be used by God. And God doesn't expect whatever He gives us and pours into us for us to keep it. As a vessel, we're supposed to pour it out so that others may be blessed by it, so others may learn from it as well. There may be something that's going on in your life that this verse, this daily devotional, it hits home with you and it says, okay, now I know what I'm supposed to do. It could be confirmation. It could be correction. Or maybe it provokes an individual to start that pathway to salvation. I don't know. I just know that I don't want to be the only one blessed by what God gives me in this when I study this verse. I want it to bless others all around. So that's why I video. Okay, why is it named 7 Up and At It? It's named 7 Up and At It as simply an homage to my father here on earth, who would come in the mornings to my room and he would knock on the door 3 times. The door would open up and my dad would simply say, "It's 7 up and at it." So that's why I call it 7 Up and At It. Just an homage to my father here on earth. So let's get into this. We're going to study today chapter 7, verse 18 of John. Now, why did I pick this verse? Well, I keep things simple. And so I looked at chapter 7, verse 18, because today is July 18th. And when I got to the book of John, this verse jumped out at me. I said, yeah, you need to study this. Okay. So as I began to read it, and let me read it to you, and I'm going to do this out of the Amplified today. It's an Amplified translation. So let's get into the word. It says, "He who speaks on his own accord seeks glory and honor for himself. But he who seeks the glory and the honor of the one who sent him, he is true, and there is no unrighteousness or deception in him." Now, you don't have it in front of you. I do. But I noticed immediately the H in he is capitalized. The H in his and him is capitalized. The O in the one is capitalized. And so Jesus is trying to talk to the individuals who were there, the Pharisees, the religious leaders, and the people who were at this festival of the tabernacles, which is this was what's going on during that time. Um, he's trying to tell them, and there is one his that's lowercase, and it's in the first part of the verse where it says capital H he who speaks on his lowercase his own accord seeks glory and honor for himself. Now, we all know there are people in our life, in our surroundings, who seek glory and honor for themselves through doing works that they feel gives them a higher status in life. And Jesus is telling us that if you seek first glory and honor for yourself, and if that's the sole purpose of why you're doing it, you know, it's basically selfish, self-centeredness. But in the second part of the verse, he says, but he, capitalized H, talking about himself in this one, but he who seeks the glory and the honor of the one, capital O, he's talking about God, the Father, who sent him, Jesus. He is true, and there is no unrighteousness or deception in him, capital H. So when he's saying this to the crowd, he's not recognizing the capital H or capital O or lowercase h in the context of the conversation. But he's trying to speak to them and hopefully raise their level of understanding of exactly who Jesus is. He's trying to tell them who he is and why he's there, and that it's not for his own self-edification, but is him seeking the glory and honor from his Father. Now, Jesus is our greatest example in life. And we all want to follow and walk as closely as we can get with our flawed bodies and minds, mind and spirit, body and spirit, however you want to say it. We'll never attain the level of wholeness, the level of perfection of Jesus. But it doesn't mean we can't try. It doesn't mean we're not supposed to seek it. And in this verse, what really came to me was that if you're moved by your flesh, you will do things for self-promotion. You will do things for self-edification. Haughty attitude, selfishness. And I'm sure you can go to Webster's dictionary and look up all the synonyms of selfishness. And that'll answer a few things for you as well. But the second part, when he goes into talking about himself and that he is seeking the glory and honor of the one, of God the Father, who sent him, Jesus, the Holy Spirit. This is where we need to look at it as doing things seeking God's honor, God's glory. That whatever we're doing in life, that is for his glory, the Father who sent us as well. See, we're all to be used by God, but he gave us free will, and that it's our choice to answer the call that he's given us. But we have to listen to him, to have an ear to hear what that great calling for our lives is. But in doing so, it's not for our personal gain. It's not for our edification. It's not to puff us up, to make us look better than others. No, in things you do in life and you do for the glory of God, the honor of God, you do it so that he gets all the glory, all the praise, all the worship, not you. Because if you're like me, you're a flawed Christian. Okay? And you're just trying to make it day by day and to keep his word in your life, to have a closer walk with him and to stay in right standing with him. Now, One last thing. When you're analyzing a church to attend, a pastor to be your shepherd, to learn from he or she at whatever church you go to, make sure that you analyze if that pastor is doing it for the betterment of God or the betterment of himself. And I'll leave it at that. And I'm sure many of you are starting to think of individuals now. And whether it's pastors, preachers, teachers, priests, you have to analyze that. I'll leave that there. So, folks, I appreciate you watching. If you're new here, welcome. Please go back and read and listen to other videos that we have. If you've been here for the long haul and you've watched, all the videos, thank you. Sincerely, thank you. I greatly appreciate you doing it, because anytime somebody watches, it makes me understand that, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's confirmation for me. I could go back to bed after taking care of my chickens first thing this morning. I could have gone back and had another nap. But I don't feel that's what God's calling me to do. Plus, I need to do the daily devotionals for myself so that I can be blessed, so that I can walk in right standing with God, so I can have a closer walk with Him. So anyway, folks, remember, God has blessed you to be a blessing to others. So please go out today, bless somebody else, because that is what truly changes this world. I thank you for your time. God bless you all, and I'll see you on the next video.